José froze when he saw the blood. But this time, not from fear, because that blood reminded him of field hospitals in war zones, surgeries racing against death, nights when he fought for lives with nothing but seconds. And now, beneath his janitor's uniform, the heart of a former Navy corpsman began to beat again. Welcome to the human stories. Before we begin this powerful story of service, hidden talent, and second chances, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from today? And if you believe stories like this need to be remembered, hit that subscribe button and help us make sure they are. The corridors of St. Mary's Hospital became a different world after 11 p.m. The daytime rush gave way to deep silence. Only the beeping of monitors, distant footsteps, and sometimes the urgent cries of emergencies could be heard. José Ramirez started his shift every night at 11 p.m., 45 years old, medium height, dark-haired, quiet man, grey uniform, cleaning carts, and an unchanging routine. He'd been doing the same job for 15 years. Clean corridors, collect trash, disinfect operating rooms. Everyone knew him, but nobody really knew him, they'd say. José nodded as they passed. Dr. Martinez would sometimes ask, ¿Cómo estás? Nurse Linda always thanked him, but no one engaged in long conversations with him. He was just the janitor, and José preferred it that way. Silence, staying out of sight, not drawing attention to himself, because attention meant questions, questions meant the past, and José had left his past behind. But that night was different. That night, the past would find him. José Ramirez's real story began in 1998. 18 years old, uncertain future, his family's only hope. He decided to become a sailor, not just for work, but for purpose. To help people, he became a hospital corpsman. In the Navy, medical training, field surgery, trauma response. For years of training, 2 deployments. First in Kosovo, second in Afghanistan. There he learned how fragile life could be. In 2003, while stationed in Kandahar, an IED exploded during patrol. 3 soldiers wounded, 1 critically. José operated for 6 hours that day, in a field hospital, under bombardment as medical supplies ran out. He saved all 3 soldiers, but that day he also lost something, his confidence in himself, because he couldn't save the 4th soldier. Rodriguez, 19 years old, a kid with a fiancée back home. He died in José's hands. When he returned home, José couldn't continue his medical career. PTSD, guilt, nightmares. He wanted to be a doctor, but now operating rooms reminded him of battlefields. That's why he chose janitorial work. He could be in a hospital, but away from his past. He didn't have to try to save lives, just clean. That Tuesday night was like any other. José was cleaning the 3rd floor. Pediatrics ward, the quietest place. Children sleeping, nurses changing shifts. At 2:30 a.m., sirens wailed. Ambulance sounds, emergency room commotion. José knew this. It happened 10 to 15 times a day. But this time was different. Running footsteps, panic screams, radio chatter trauma, unpreparé. Dr. Chun, to operating room. Call blood bank. José continued cleaning. He didn't want to get involved, but the sounds were getting closer. And then ... help. Someone help. That was Dr. Rodriguez's voice. Young, talented surgeon. José knew him, always polite. José ran without hesitation. There was chaos outside operating room 3. Dr. Rodriguez, on the floor, unconscious, blood flowing from his head. Patient on the operating table, chest open, pulse dropping. What happened? José asked. Nurse Sarah was crying. Doctor suddenly collapsed. Patient is dying. We called another surgeon, but it'll take 20 minutes. José looked at the patient. Chest open, heart exposed, aortic injury. A condition he knew. He'd seen it 10 times in Afghanistan. How long has the patient been on the table? He asked. 45 minutes, Sarah said. But since the doctor collapsed, no one... José stopped. Hundreds of thoughts raced through his mind. Rodriguez, Afghanistan. Failure. Fear. Then he looked at the patient's monitor. Heart rate decreasing. Blood pressure dropping. And José made his decision. Sarah, José said quietly, "Give me gloves." What? Sterile gloves. Now, Sarah's eyes widened. José, you're a janitor. You can't give me gloves. José's voice carried authority. For the first time in 15 years, Sarah complied. José washed his hands, put on gloves, approached the operating table. The patient's condition was critical. Aortic tear, blood loss, signs of shock. But José knew this. This condition took him back. Sarah, give me 4-0 suture. José, you nurse. This man will die in 5 minutes. Give me suture. José's hands began to tremble, then stopped. He took a breath, and his training from 20 years ago kicked in. José's hands began working with muscle memory. He saw the aortic injury, assessed it, determined the intervention plan. Just like he did in Kandahar. Sarah, suction. I need to clear the blood field. Sarah was amazed but obeyed José's authority. José cleaned the injury. Small tear, repairable, but sensitive area. One movement meant life or death. Starting sutures, José said. You monitor. Tell me if there's any change. He made the first stitch. The muscle memory had returned. Precise, controlled, safe. Just like before. Second stitch. Third. The bleeding was slowly stopping. José. Sarah's voice was full of amazement. You... You know this. José didn't answer. He was focused. Completing the stitches, controlling the bleeding. 5th stitch. 6th. 7th. The bleeding stopped. Pulse returned to normal. The patient was saved. José stepped back, removed his gloves. His hands were shaking, but this time from adrenaline, not failure. At that moment, Dr. Chen entered the operating room, hastily prepared, trying to scrub in. Where's the patient? How? She stopped. Patient stable, wound sutured, monitors normal. Who did this? Dr. Chen asked. Sarah pointed to José. He... He did it. Dr. Chen looked at José. Janitor uniform, confused expression, trembling hands. Who are you? José didn't want to answer. But Dr. Chen insisted. Who performed this surgery? Who can suture at this level? José quietly replied, I used to be a corpsman. Corpsman? In the Navy? Yes. Dr. Chen examined the wound. Perfect technique, professional work, life-saving intervention. How long did you serve? Little years, José said. Long deployments. Dr. Chen understood now. Why did you quit? José didn't answer. The past was too painful. The next day when José came to work, everything was different. Doctors looked at him differently. Nurses were talking. His janitor uniform no longer hid him. Dr. Martinez approached him. José, about last night. Sarah told me. Were you really a corpsman? José nodded. Why are you working as a janitor? You could have been a doctor. José remained silent for a long time. Then he spoke. I once lost someone in Afghanistan. Young soldier, 19 years old. He died in my hands. After that day, I couldn't operate anymore. Dr. Martinez understood. PTSD, guilt, José said, and fear. Fear of losing someone again. But last night you saved someone, José smiled. It was his first real smile. Yes, and this time I didn't lose them. Hospital administration met with José. His medical background, experience, skills, and they made an offer. José, if you want, you can work as a medical assistant. We'll provide training support. You can get a nursing degree. José hesitated, going back to the life he'd been running for 15 years. I want to think about it, he said. That night José walked around the hospital, not cleaning corridors, just walking. He stopped at the pediatrics ward, looked at the sleeping children. Then he went to operating room 3, where he saved a life last night. On that table, with those hands, he became a healer again after 20 years. And at that moment, he decided, 6 months later, José was working as a medical assistant at St. Mary's Hospital. He had completed his training, earned his certification, started a new career. He still preferred working the night shift, but now with a stethoscope, not a mop. One night, a young soldier came in. Car accident, critically injured. As José wheeled him to the operating room, he saw Rodriguez in the soldier's face, 19 years old, fear in his eyes. But this time, José didn't run. He washed his hands, put on gloves, and assisted in surgery. The soldier was saved. After surgery, José went outside. He looked at the sky, thought of Rodriguez, the kid he'd lost 20 years ago. I'm sorry, Rodriguez, he whispered, but I don't lose them anymore. From that night on, José came to work every night. But this time, not just to clean, to save lives, because second chances exist. And sometimes the best healers are those with the deepest wounds. José's hands no longer trembled, because he was finally doing the right job. The job fate had given him. José Ramirez ran from his past for 15 years. He carried the weight of one failure. He punished himself, hid his talents. But that night in the operating room, when blood and memory met, his true identity emerged. Healer, savior, hope giver, because some people are born healers. Their uniform can change, their job can change, but their heart doesn't change. José's heart had always beaten for patience. The 15 years he worked as a janitor weren't lost. They were preparation. A period that taught him to wait for the right time, the right moment. And when that moment came, José was ready. His hands were ready. His heart was ready. Now I ask you, do you know someone like José? Someone with hidden talents, running from the past but finding themselves in critical moments. Write their name in the comments. Share their story, because at the human stories, no second chance should be forgotten. No hidden hero should be overlooked. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, subscribe, share, help keep these voices alive. We'll see you in the next one. And until then, if you see a janitor working quietly in a hospital, wash their hands. They might be a healer's hands. Disclaimer: this video is a fictional narrative created for emotional, inspirational, and entertainment purposes only. The characters, events, and situations portrayed are entirely imaginary or dramatized and should not be interpreted as factual representations of real-life individuals or events. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or real situations is purely coincidental. This content is not intended to offend, deceive, or cause harm. Viewer discretion is advised.